Have you ever been told that you are not smart enough, not good enough, that your future is already written? Today, you'll meet a man who refused to let other people's opinion define him. A man who turned his learning difficulties, bullying, and self-doubt into discipline, mastery, and purpose. Born in Sydney to hardworking blue-collar parents, Shaun Dover didn't grow up with privilege, connections, or easy opportunities. He grew up with grit, and when life tried to break him, his mother made a very powerful choice. She enrolled him in Taekwondo. That single decision changed everything. From a quiet, bullied kid to a winning Australian Open in Taekwondo at just 16. But that was only the beginning. After years on the factory floor, Shaun discovered the vault of sales, and something inside him came alive. He studied, he failed, got back up, and built a 20-year career managing millions in revenue, leading national sales teams, and mentoring others to rise just like he did. Today, he's the founder of the Breakthrough Coaching and B2B Sales Pro, helping people across the world rebuild their confidence, mindset, and performance. He's also a single father, a life coach, a living reminder that no matter where you start, you can rewrite your story. This is more than a story about success. It's a story about belief, about never giving up, and about turning setbacks into strength. Welcome to Life, the battlefield where the resilience meets reality, and today we learn how one man fought his way from doubt to destiny. Shaun, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. I'm great to be here.
Mate, look, I must say that this morning, we bump each other every day in the same gym. We started, it's a little bit weird to say, but in sauna.
Yeah, true.
We would say like this, many months after. But now we're going together in gym, and I want to say I truly admiring somebody who is consistent like yourself every single day.
Yeah.
And I know it's a struggle to wake up in the morning. So let's go talk about your early childhood. So the question I do have for you, first one for everybody. Growing up in blue-collar family, in hard West, who worked so hard to provide for family, what that was look like for you?
Yeah, look, I was very lucky. I grew up with my parents. My parents were married and happily married and they still are today.
Yeah.
So my childhood, I have to admit, I'm extremely lucky. Yeah. Extremely lucky. I grew up in a nice home in Kings Langley. But my dad worked in a factory. My mum was a cleaner. But what they showed me was work. Get up, go to work, and work hard, and all those sorts of things. It really gave me a sense of you got to get out and work hard and to achieve what you want to achieve. But I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was older. I had my own challenges as well as a child. So at a very, very young age, probably 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 7 and 8, I had learning difficulties as a child, and that really affected my confidence. But very luckily that my parents took me to occupational therapists and things like that, and got me the help that I needed. Because what they did as a young child, that showed me work ethic. It really drove my work ethic significantly into my adult life, which has helped me to be where I am today and the success that I've had. So, yeah.
You remind me, like my parents, you grew up in Australia, which is democratic, capitalistic country. I grew up in communism, but look like we have the same parents.
Yeah.
But, something about hardworking families, it is that we learn working ethics.
Yeah.
And my father, I remember now, we live maybe 10 minutes from the factory, and I need to go that work experience. In communism, school holidays, you're going to do work experience, and there's no relaxation, right?
Yeah.
And we start from 6 a.m. I would like to sleep. 5:30. He says to me, "What are you doing in the bed? You need to get the fuck out of the bed. It's like it's early. We just crossed the road. You need to." It was pissed off because I was gonna be late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you say that you're diagnosed with learning and speech difficulties. How that experience shape your self-worth, Shaun? How this shaped your self-worth?
Yeah, so at a young age, I knew there was something up because my mum would come and pull me out of school regularly to go to see therapists, and I knew I wasn't the normal kid. I struggled with schoolwork. Teacher used to pull me aside specifically to work with me outside of the normal classroom. So I knew at the young age there was something not right. And it did. It affected my confidence significantly right into my adult life.
Yeah.
But one thing it did do for me was it gave me the work ethic. Nothing came easy. I had to work hard to get pass marks on exams. To compete in sport, I had to work hard. But then once I started getting into like year 5, year 6, then into my high school years, my life started to switch for the better. I started, acing exams, doing well in sport. Confidence started to grow, and I really came out of my shell, which was great.
Look, I don't know what that looks like, having these speech difficulties or, I can say that I can compare something happened to me here in Australia, and I was adult, I was 38 years old, and I remember I was coming very first time in a local Hills Chamber of Commerce, and I paid my membership because, they told me you need to be part of this thing anyway.
Yeah.
And guy on the door, he asked me the name, and I said my name, and he says to me, "You need a speech therapist." And I said, what do you mean speech therapist? And it's like, he said, your English is terrible. It's like, maybe I need to learn English, but not speech therapist.
Yeah.
Bro, like that's two different things.
Yeah.
You know what happened to me? I cried. I ran home, 38 years old man with years in the war. I cried because I didn't know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
And but being 5 years old, it's even more difficult than anything else. So
it was a hard time of life. But one thing I will say: every challenge in your life will pay dividends later.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Right. And for me, sometimes I think, why did I have to go through that? Why me? What
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I'm happy I went through that because it's made me a fighter.
Okay.
Right? And I fight for everything I've had in my life. And I don't give up. Like, I got told no a lot as a child. No, you're not good at this. Or, I had my Taekwondo instructor say to my parents, he just hasn't got it. You should pull him out. Right?
What do you think, why this happened to everywhere across the globe? Why, if you don't fit that societal norms, you being asked, get out, you know what I mean? So as for the parents, I'm like as if I'm hearing my childhood. You say, I fought for everything, you know what I mean? I become the terrible child, you know what I mean? I was stealing and I was in juvie and all these things.
Yeah.
But thing is, your mom, she made a pivotal decision.
Yeah.
She took you to the Taekwondo where you achieved great results. Yeah. Can you just now elaborate a little bit more about this one when they told your mom, get him out, but yet you have become the champion?
Yeah, so what happened, Taekwondo is quite technical. There's a lot of patterns and katas and certain moves. And, with a child with learning difficulties, I really struggled, to adapt to the form and the techniques and not just that, to remember the patterns. So patterns are like a set moves that you got to remember for each belt level that you go up. And I just couldn't remember them. No matter how much I practiced them, I couldn't remember them. And then my instructor pulled my mum and dad aside one night and said, look, I just don't think he's got it.
Man, that's terrible feeling, eh?
Yeah.
Did you hear that conversation? Or?
No.
Okay.
My mum told me this later on in life. So my mum said, look, this is for him. I brought him here because we're trying to develop his confidence and develop his brain and things like that, his coordination. And look, one thing that I did that I just kept sticking at it. And years later, when I started to overcome a lot of these difficulties in my life, it just skyrocketed. And I started skipping belts, right? I ended up being his best student. and I fought in Australian titles and won gold medals and things like that. So
you Australian Open Taekwondo champion at 16, right?
yeah.
Okay, so what was that feeling? Like, being told, don't come here train because you're different,
Yeah.
to become the champion. How this influenced then confidence now? Like, from being that kid who's been bullied, obviously being called names, and, society didn't want you to become the champion. What was then? Did you come in school and say, like, where are you bitches now? Or did you walk like in school and say, I'm the champion, now watch it?
Nah, to be honest, it's funny, like it wasn't until later in life that I started to really realize the journey that I've achieved, like where I came from and where I've got to. But at the time, I didn't really think about it too much. But to be honest, in school, particularly in high school, I was friends with everybody at school. And I found even the people that were getting bullied, I sort of helped them and was friends with them as well, because I felt that because I came from a life of being bullied and struggling to now being successful and starting to achieve things, still kept me humble for what happened in the early stages of my life. So, I walked into school probably more confident and things like that. I was a black belt, I won this, and I was doing well at school. But still, I was quite respectful, even to the people that bullied me as a kid. Some of them are my mates today. But I was quite respectful in that form.
So you didn't stop on Taekwondo. You moved into boxing, kickboxing.
Yeah.
How this evolved for you?
So I was on my push bike as a 16-year-old kid riding up the road, and there was a Muay Thai gym. And I'll never forget it. I walked up the stairs, and when I walked in, I saw a Thai guy on a big sandbag just kicking this bag. And my jaw dropped, and I went, oh my God. And I was so intimidated, young 16-year-old kid. I walked down the stairs, and this guy came out and goes, hey, you okay there? I said, oh, just inquiring about classes. He goes, oh, come up. And that's how it started. Luckily, that guy grabbed me, because I probably would have been doing Taekwondo till today. He came and grabbed me and he says, hey, come in and have a look. And I went in, and I remember thinking, I want to do this. It's a completely different style to Taekwondo. Taekwondo is more of it's an art. It's
regimental,
But Muay Thai was the real thing. Real thing. So I started there and absolutely loved it. Yeah.
I never saw Muay Thai in my life till this year. I was in Thailand.
Yeah.
And people, as you know, I was there. We have same friends.
Yeah.
And we went for the one night fight. I couldn't see more brutality. I mean, it's brutal. It's like, it's not just a pure strength, or some techniques. It's literally how smart, how clever, and how you're applying those punches. Because I saw some in the women, like, when I said, God, this is, I want to do this. But, I saw like in my head, come down, Mario, 53, just, but I'm admiring for that one. So let's move now from being bullied, training Taekwondo, being champion, Muay Thai. You and I have a conversation over the coffee, and then you mentioned to me, Mario, I was a tool maker.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you just share with our audience, what was your part? So why didn't you choose to become, I don't know, contract killer or something like fighter? I mean, when you're doing all the Muay Thai, boxing, Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to become the tool maker?
So I think fighting these days is big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in it. Back then, I was like, martial arts to me was a hobby. Something I did on the side.
Yeah.
And obviously, growing up, my parents were like, you either do a degree or you do a trade. And this is where it comes to confidence as well. As much as my confidence was elevating throughout high school, I still had, some trauma from when I was younger in terms of confidence. So what happened, when I left school, I got offered 3 apprenticeships. One was an air conditioning mechanic, one was an electrician, and the other one was a tool maker. And those people don't know what a tool maker is. So say for example, this plastic bottle.
Yeah.
So I would make, or my company that I work for would make the die that would produce that plastic bottle, a plastic injection mold.
Yeah.
So we used to do that. So what happened, the reason I took the tool making job on was because some of my friends were working there. Right, and I thought, I don't want to...
So you didn't think at all? It's just like, well, my body's going there, my friends going there as well.
I didn't think about my future. I didn't think an electrician would be probably a better job to do. So what I did with the tool making is I took the job on because my mates worked there. That's how low my confidence was. I was so scared to leave school and go out in the big wide world and take on a job. So I took this job on because I knew people. And let me tell you, I started at 6 a.m. on my first day. I walked in and within an hour, I fucking hated it. Absolutely hated it.
Why
but
is that?
I spent 5 years there.
So let me do the section with this conversation now.
Yeah.
There is a little Shaun here, speech difficulties, learning difficulties. Mom taking me taekwondo. They don't want him there, but he became the champion. He expanded his desire to learn more martial arts, different type of forms.
Yeah.
He became very successful there. But you said two keywords.
Yeah.
Trauma, that you were fighting. I mean, I know something about martial arts. I done the boxing. I wanted to be Bruce Lee like everybody else said. I mean, but it didn't work for me. But you said that trauma was still there present with you.
Yeah.
How did you cope with this? Was there some type of trigger happen to you, like when you work for the jobs, or you being afraid to go seek something out of your comfort zone, or how?
Yeah, I think probably my self-worth was affected significantly at a young age. And if you don't address it, I was addressed in terms of speech therapy and occupational therapy, and that was addressed, right? But I think the trauma of what I went through wasn't addressed. And I probably didn't reflect on it till later in life. But I just went through the early adult years of my life just in autopilot, not even thinking about it. But then now I look back on my life and go, I understand why I made certain decisions at those times.
Okay, that's what leading to me, because now you said second part of the question is about your job as a toolmaker. You said, I went there because my friends were there. And on my first day, I come 6 o'clock in the morning, but 7 o'clock I want to get out, but I stayed 5 years. Can you just replicate this on our daily life? Because obviously we get something, we don't love what we're doing, but yet we stay in same position, same place, same work, or maybe some woman, what I mean, forever. Can you just maybe draw the parallel between what's happened to you and people's decision making in life?
Yeah, so you're exactly right. The amount of people that are out there that are, hating their jobs, not looking to elevate, not looking to improve. They just go through the rhythm. They're in a program. They're in a mindful program where, they're just doing the same thing every day. And I'm so lucky that I got out of that toolmaking job and got into sales, right? Because sales helped me elevate my life, right? And so do you want to hear the story about how I got into sales and things like that?
Absolutely.
So basically what happened, a toolmaking apprenticeship's 4 years. So I did 4 years as an apprenticeship, and then I went on as a tradesperson for 1 year. And basically, when I was a tradesperson, they said to me, we want you to do all the purchasing for the workshop. We want you to deal with the suppliers, buy the materials, buy the drill bits, the power tools, the hand tools, all that sort of stuff. So I had sales reps coming into work, meeting me, and I was buying stuff from them, and they were dressed in nice suits. They were driving fancy company cars. And I'll never forget, one day one of them came in, and it was a Friday, and I gave him a purchase order for some drill bits, and he goes, I'm off to the beach. And it's like it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, right? And I said, what time are you going there? And he goes, now? I'll be there in an hour. And I said, what about work? And he goes, that's all right. I've hit quota for the day. I'm going. And I went, and it just went click.
Okay.
I went, that's the job that I want, right? So, and then I got into sales for the wrong reasons, right? I thought sales was go around, talk to people, collect purchase orders, drive around your nice car, your suit.
Yeah.
So what I did, I started applying for sales roles, and I got given an opportunity to work in sales. And when I got given the opportunity, I remember thinking, I've made it. I've got a company car. I'm going to work every day in my business shirt. I wake up in the morning, the sun's up instead of being dark, and I'm driving around. But the very first day I went on the road, I got some very rude shocks. People telling me to get effed, people ignoring me, people saying, I already deal with somebody else, not interested. And I started to realize this job's not what it looks like. This job is hard. And then my boss was saying to me, your budget is $8,000 a day, but you're only bringing in 3,000. You need to lift, right? And I almost threw that job in, right? And thank God I didn't, because I went into the boss and I said, listen, I don't think sales is for me. And he goes, give it another 6 months. Just go out there, have a crack, give it another 6 months. So, all right. And I remember going home that day, and this is what I do in all aspects of my life now.
Yeah.
Very basic. I get my notepad and my pen. And I sat down, I said, okay, if I quit sales, what am I going to do? I've got no qualifications except for tool making, and I hate it. I'm not going back to that. So then I start writing down, okay, how can I be good at this? What do I have to do? And I just brainstorm for hours. And I wrote down, I need to know my customers better, what they do, how they do it, who their customers are, who am I pitching to? Are they in safety? Are they in purchasing?
Yes.
Are they this? Are they that? How can I manage my time better? Right? Am I reviewing sales reporting better? And I started writing everything down. How can I manage time? How can I do this? How can I do that? And then all of a sudden I started to integrate what I wrote down into my everyday activities, and it started to shift. Customers started giving me more of their time. Customers started spending more, right? And then 6 months later, I'm like, I'm killing budget, killing it, right? And then and one thing I said, I'm going to reflect on everything I do every day. So every call that I did that call go the way I wanted it to go? Did that deal go the way I wanted it to go? And then what I would do, I'll go home and go, what could I have done better there? What did I do well? What are the competitors doing well? And I did this every day, right? And I made this much improvement every day. And over 6 months, I'm like, bang, bang, bang. And improvements is coming out of my ears, right? So then my career just started to take off. And then the confidence really, in all aspects of my life, went that way. Because in sales, I've got a young 8-year-old daughter. And when she gets older, I'm going to say to her, just give me 2 years in sales. Just do 2 years and then do whatever you want to do. And the reason being, it taught me about communication. It taught me about delivering value to people. It taught me about overcoming objections, but also confrontation, right? And these are the things I ran away from as a kid, right?
Isn't that interesting?
And then as I got into adult life, and I thought, well, if I don't fix that problem with that customer, they're not going to spend and I won't have a job. I have to go and fix it. And how do I do it? And how do I be good at it? And that's what I did, right? And then I found that all aspects of my life started to improve outside of sales, relationships with friends, family. When I go and negotiate with a real estate agent on a house or interest rates through a bank, everything was starting to improve. It all comes down because of my sales experience.
Can I expand this now, what you're saying to my question, which is in relation to you adapted, adjusted, and improvised. You see, like what you're saying. That day, I sat in the car, drive home, and took the pen and paper.
Yeah.
Literally. And you start writing things down.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say I'm congratulating you for sharing your valuable lesson with all of us.
Thank you.
You see, everybody sees successful Shaun in sales, but nobody doesn't know how much you need to have the breaking points in your life till you didn't come to a moment taking pen and paper and start writing down things which they should be done. You know what I mean? That's I learned in military, and for that admiring you. But I want to ask you this question now when you talk about pen and paper. Let's go talk about journaling and studying and self-development. Mm-hmm. How this actually helped you? Because you said like you took the pen and paper, you start questioning yourself, you start questioning how somebody else going to react on actions you undertake. You know what I mean? When you call them, when you talk to them, who you're talking to, how much time you're going to spend, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
So you obviously done the journaling, self-development, a lot of analyzing yourself. I want to ask you, what of these routines helped you to build your new identity? Because you said very clearly, I start doing things, I run away.
Yeah.
And most of people, all their life, running away.
Mm. Yeah, so I think it's really important to tackle your fears, right? Because when you tackle your fears, you evolve.
Yeah.
You know, public speaking for me was something that, I was so scared of, for example.
I can imagine, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, like, I've got to do a presentation at a Western Sydney Business Connect forum on the 10th of December. And it's in front of probably 200-300 people. Am I nervous? Yeah, probably a little bit. But I've done so many of these things now, getting up in front of people. And I think the biggest thing is if you're scared of something, it doesn't mean go and dive straight into it, but do your small steps every day. So, for example, the gym. If you're scared of the gym, go in there and do small, easy movements every day, right? And you'll start to build up. I remember the first time I walked into a gym, for example. I saw these big bodybuilders and I went, I'm not supposed to be here. I was in my early 20s.
Okay, interesting.
Right? I'm not supposed to be here. But then what I did, I turned up and I watched these guys train. I'm like, oh, what's he doing over there? Oh, okay, all right, yeah, I'll try that. You know, and before you know it, 20 years later, I walk in the gym and I'm not intimidated by anybody. I just do my thing and I train. So I think the biggest thing is if you want to evolve in life, and the thing is, people want a certain life. They go, I love to have freedom. I love to have more money. I love to have status for some people. But are you willing to do the work to get there? That's the thing.
Well, if I go now, I just say like, you're the one of the few people I truly admiring for what they gone through. Because like, you know, you had not just a life experience, but you invested yourself in learning your skills.
Yeah.
And everybody believes if go on a weekend course somewhere, they're going to learn some type of the skills. I'll give you an example. I get every day from a couple very prominent coaches, I will call them, who guarantee me if I just spend $7,000 with them on a weekend, they're going to make me rich, on a long term. And I'm like, God, that's the biggest rubbish I ever heard, because I know the struggles. Yeah. If somebody can give you something, but you need to do the hard work.
100%.
My question for you is, what's the biggest hurdle people do or put them ahead of themselves? They don't want to do hard work. Why everybody expecting is going to come easy? Why is nobody prepared to say like, I need to work hard. I need to wake up in the morning, like you in the morning, 5 o'clock, come in the gym. I'm seeing you in the gym. You're not amongst the 99.9% of people sitting in a bed, having a coffee and crying a river story.
Yeah.
Why people are not committed to success, but they want a success?
People are scared of failure.
Oh, okay.
All right, 100%. People are scared of a no or failure. But let me tell you, every successful person in the world has had numerous amounts of failure. Like, look at my early stages of my life. It was a massive failure. I failed exams. I failed, I took on a job that I hated. And when I started my sales career, it was full of failure. I was going around asking people for orders. They were telling me to go away. They were taking my catalog and ghosting me. It was full of failure. But the thing is, you got to learn from failure. And when you learn from it, you start to evolve. So this is the thing, like every no, every failure is a lesson. And as long as you learn from it, you evolve. So even today, I still fail today. Like I don't win every deal that I sit down with a customer, but my conversion rate's a lot higher than what it used to be 20 years ago, that's for sure. But you still learn. Any professional athlete you talk to, someone could have 30 boxing fights and then lose that one fight. And they go, my career just went bang, because that one fight that I lost, I learned so much from that one fight, and I went on to be the best. You hear it all the time.
You know what? Can just interrupt you here, because recently my coach, Rodney Williams, I lost my last fight, and I was so angry, man. I was so like, and he says, look, you lost because you brought your ego there. You know what I mean? Yeah. You saw the guy, you're gonna do it. You know what I mean? But he saw in you something else. His win. Yeah. I said, I don't understand. He said, like, I observed him before the fight. He was a quiet guy. He was being asked questions. He didn't want to talk. What have you doing? Oh, I'm the king. I'm the this. I'm the that. And that's what the lesson I learned. I never spoke again after fight. Before the fight, when I lost, I put my head down. I said, I lost. I need to go back into the ring. Yep. I need to master my skills. And you saying this thing same way. Was there any difficult moments in your life when you fail, how to deal with this? If I may ask, of course, if you want to answer business-wise, whatever it's like.
I think going back to when I went in to see my boss and said, this job's just not for me. Like I was leaving the house every day and thinking, I don't want to do this job. Even though I've got the freedom, I'm driving around in a car. But I was going to see people. I was knocking on doors, and I was like a little puppy dog with tail between my legs because I knew they're going to tell me to go away. And then I ticked my box to tell my boss that I'd been to this company. All right. And, I looked at that and said, well, I've got no other choice. Right? I can't fail anymore. I have to be good at this because I don't know what else I'm going to do in my life. So that's when I got back to the journaling and writing everything down, writing down a plan, researching, and I started applying myself. And even then, like, say I went and saw 10 customers, 3 of them start buying from me, 7 of them will say no, for example.
Yeah.
But those 7 I would learn so much from. Then a month later, I start going, hang on, now I've got 10 customers I called on, 6 are buying from me. I'm getting better. And you get used to being told no, right?
Yes.
And look, no is not a dig at yourself. No it could be the competitor's got something better, or your pitch wasn't where it should have been, or you didn't articulate the value, things like that. So, every no is a lesson, or every no is a time where you can dive deeper with the customer to understand why and overcome that.
What are you seeing in today's times? Like literally right now, let's go on social media.
Yep.
When you open social media, everybody's an expert in everything. Yep. Everything and anything. Everybody's going to try to flog you things, left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I said to myself, who are those people who try to sell me something? Because they have no credibility. You can't reach them. They're sitting in Indonesia, whatever.
Yeah.
And some lady with the big boobies, try to sell me the bride. I don't even need it, but you're still watching because it's appealing to your eyes. Do you think that sales process requires someone like you, or we can do it on social media? We just hiring just blonde girl with a big...
Well, look, there's so many different versions of sales. So I deal more in the B2B, the business-to-business space.
What's the difference between the business-to-business or let's just say business-to-customer?
So customers buy more on emotion, right? So B2C.
Okay, let me write this down. Guys. Secrets like here, I told you. Sorry.
So say, for example, you go, I want to buy a pair of Nike shoes.
Yeah.
You love the brand. You look at it and you go, I'm going to buy it. It looks good on my feet. I look cool.
Yeah.
I buy a new shirt. I love this. Or you go and buy a new BMW. That's B2C world. People buy a brand, a product that they want, and it's a different sell. But what I really specialize in is business to business, right? And it's helping businesses grow. It's partnership. It's strategy. It's understanding. So I will go to a business and say, instead of talking about products that I sell or services, it'll be, tell me about your business, what the challenges are, what you're doing well, and where you want to be in 2 years' time.
You know what? I wish I'd met you 15 years ago when I started my business in Insight Intelligence. I'll tell you why. Again, I was in local chamber of commerce, and there was like 50 experts on sales and marketing. Yeah. And I was like, try to sift, the information, who says what, but 15 people, 15 different approaches. Yeah. And they all cost so much money, to do it.
Yeah.
But now when I'm hearing you, you speak to the point how we should sell business to business, because my business, Insight Intelligence, it is business to business.
Yeah.
And I know I should not say this with so much pride, but I remember I didn't know nothing about sales, but I need to start making money. So I will find the person in the company who wanted to talk, and I will say this. I say look, just give me one case. And if I don't deliver, you can tell everybody across the globe that my company and I are not good enough.
Yep.
And then comes that awkward silence. And, usually men would say nobody sells like this.
Yep.
He said, for that reason, I give you the case. If you don't deliver, and I said, that's a good idea. Then I met somebody who's very smart. Professor Clyde Small says to me, stop doing that, my BS, everybody can bad-mouthing you, right? But I'm grateful that you are sharing that with us, little secrets. So,
can I go back to what you just said?
Please, by all means.
That is perfect. Because you know what? People hate being sold to. They hate it, right? They don't want to bullshit. They just want to cut straight to the point. And you're giving confidence. You're like, I will deliver, right? Give me that one case and I'll deliver. Like on my website, I've got, if you're not satisfied after the first module, I'll give you 100% of your money back guaranteed.
Man, nobody does this.
Yeah, and I do that because I really do believe that 99% of people that will buy these products will get value from it. And if you don't get value from it, I don't want to take your money. I'd rather give it back to you. So what you did there is absolutely perfect. And when I've been in B2B sales, people go, we're already dealing with this company over here and they're pretty good. And I said, okay.
That's those answers I heard, you know what I mean? But you see, you are blessing in disguise for so many, because my sales secrets are very simple. Even today, it's more word of mouth, a bit recommended, referred, right? To do the hard sales, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It comes with territory, right? After 15 years, now it's different.
Yeah.
But I must say I was petrified, because first I was apologizing everybody for my English, because this guy told me in Chamber of Commerce, your English is a shit. You know what I mean? And then I said, I'm so sorry, this is my fifth language. And people said, why are you apologizing? You know what I mean? Like, you're not only migrant in this country. So And I didn't have a confidence. But one thing I knew I can deliver something. And that's to myself, that's only I can bank on this one. Now, the question for you.
Yep.
Why did you decide to say like, okay, I work enough for everybody else?
Yep.
Now me, Shaun Dover, I want to do work for myself. And you started your business, you created Breakthrough Coaching and later B2B Sales Pro. I'm going to put in comment section below, guys, description actually, on the website and all socials of the Shaun, so you can reach him, you can learn from him, and you can see what he's offering. But I want to ask you, so from that boy with his speech problems to the guy now starting his own business and the training modules.
Yep.
What happened?
Yeah, so when I went through some hard times in my life, I wanted to learn more about the human mind and things like that. So I went and did a certification in life coaching. I did that. And then I was like, because I've managed sales teams for probably half of my career. So yes, I've done all this sales and I've built up national accounts and managed tens of millions of dollars. But then what I've also done is manage sales teams and coach and develop people. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of my career. I've had people come to me and say...
You must be proud of yourself then, right?
Yeah. People ring me up and say, look, you know, I've got this promotion and I thank you because you helped me throughout those years when I was starting out and helped me on that process. So what I decided to do was I was like, well, I want to coach people for a living. And I think after 20 years of B2B sales experience, the certified life coach, I'm also a certified personal trainer, all this sort of stuff. So what I've done is now I want to coach businesses, coach individuals to be their best. And that's why I've branched out on my own. And, I've built up I've helped companies I've worked for, I've built up their businesses, and now I want to build up my own. Right? I want something that's mine, it's my brand, my own personal brand. And I think that there's so many coaches on the planet in different niches, right, that are saying they've done this, have done that. But for me, I've done 20 years in this space.
That's the reason why you're here on this podcast.
20
That's
years.
the reason why you are here today, Shaun, because I'm observing you, or not spying on you, but it's like we talk, we go in the gym together, and I'm seeing you, what you went through. There is no, I tell you, in all honesty, I attended in last 2 months, 6 or 7 those NLP coachings / lifestyle, whatever they call them, things. And every single person was so opposite me, and me and other 500 people in the room. It was like, look at me. I have a Porsche, but I don't care. I have my beautiful blonde wife with the perfect boobies, but I don't care. I know the Michael Jordan, but I don't care. You know what I mean? And I said to myself, and then comes that emotional sales. But my life was bad. It was terrible, this and that. I said, like, I'm listening 20 minutes of my time about your wife and her fucking silicons and your how successes you gained, and now you're crying about your past. I didn't saw the one moment you say like, oh, my life was not fair towards me, and then I need to fight. I have a question for you. How your mom feels now when she sees her son, who comes so far from being that 5 years old, don't want him on Taekwondo, to seeing the show now? If I may ask this question, please. I want everybody understand now that mothers are those ones going to be either very proud or not.
So it's funny, we had this conversation the other day.
You and your mom?
Yeah, me and my mom. So she actually said to me, she goes, when you're going through that hard stuff as a child, we were taking you to get help, and all she prayed for was that I would just be able to get a job, do the normal things in life. I just want you to have a normal life. That's all she wanted. And she goes, what I see you doing today, what you've achieved in career, sport, and now business, she goes, I can't believe it. Like, it's like a miracle. And she goes, I'm just so proud. You know?
Do you believe that parents' love and parents' desire to see your own kids successful, happy, healthy, actually it's imperative for every child to have?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like, I look at my daughter, she's 8, and one thing as a parent is anyone that's a parent out there is very protective love. You don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to struggle. You know, you just want them to get through life and be happy, be loved by their friends or their husband or wife.
Yeah.
You want them to succeed. You don't want them to struggle. You know, I had some struggles in my life, and I'm very lucky where I am today, very lucky, but I'm hoping that my daughter won't go through anything similar.
You're a very humble, honest man, Shaun. I'm very proud to, I'm very, not proud, that's not a good word. I'm very privileged I'm talking to you.
Appreciate it, man.
On a side me, but that's like, a reason why I'm asking you this, because I'm seeing my son, and my son was epileptic for 12 years.
Yeah.
And all I wanted for him, it's just to, have the normal life. And all what he ever wanted was to drive the car. He said, Dad, I'll be the only one, I can't drive the car on this planet.
Yeah.
I was breaking my heart. Now he's healthy, has a brain surgery.
Yeah.
And you reminded me of him, He never complained about life, but I know that his mother, she was that biggest engine, of love and caring and everything else. Now, I want advice from you for everybody who is listening right now.
Yeah.
Shaun, from you. If somebody is now in a place they don't want it to be, they're unhappy where they are, they're struggling with daily life, what would you tell them, you as a Shaun, not as a B2B sales pro, not as a life coach, nothing, Shaun?
So I think the biggest thing is depending on the person, of course, you got to understand what do you want in life? Where do you want to be? And also I think the biggest thing is health. I think we overcomplicate a lot in society, and particularly our mental health, breath work and meditation, which is, all that stuff is really good for you, right? But I think, we talk about going to the gym every day and things like that. Now, I understand people don't have time to go to the gym every day, but if you can sleep properly every day, hydrate, get sunlight, get your steps in, right? Eat nutritious foods. If you can get all those fundamentals right, you give yourself the best chance to succeed in life. And what I mean by that is, when you get sunlight, you hydrate, you're walking, you're losing weight, you're building muscle, all that sort of stuff, what you'll find is your confidence levels will start to rise. People around you will start to notice there's a change in you, and you'll get more confident. And I really do believe that, yes, I had learning difficulties as a child, and I've overcome that, which has helped me later in life. But my health has helped me get to where I am.
You see, this is the first, you're the first coach, and that's I say, like, that I'm so privileged I have you in this studio, and you talk about health, because everywhere where I went to these seminars for 6-7 seminars, there are all these coaches, whatever they call them, because I wanted to hear why the people go there, right? Of course, they sell them the dream, their own dream back to them, with the red ribbon. So you selling me what I want. Of course, they need the people with the hope, so they sell you hope back. Yeah. But nobody of these people ever spoke about number one element, health. Yeah. And you are absolutely spot on. Without health, you can't do nothing. You can't dream about successes,
That's right.
And again, if I can relate back to my son, it's like I remember, on a surface, he's a healthy boy, epilepsy, okay. But he couldn't dream about many things. Yeah. And I now understand why. So before I continue next question, I want to ask you straight away, before we dig deep into some other stuff, why somebody will choose you, Shaun? Why will somebody choose you to be the mentor, the coach, somebody who's going to teach them how to do sales? Why would somebody choose you?
So first of all, some sales coaches have gone and done a course on sales training and now they go and train it. For me, I've done 20 years. 20 years, built my career from absolute ground up. I've built small to medium businesses up to hundreds of thousands. I've taken on tier 1 national accounts and built them from $500,000 up to $5-10 million. I've managed tens of millions of dollars. I've also coached and mentored sales teams to do the same, right? And I think the biggest thing as well, I always listen to customers. What are their challenges? What do they need? And the reason why I pick me is, yes, I've been there, I've done it, I've failed at it, and I've done extremely well at it, right? I've done some mega deals in my time. But one thing that really stuck out when I first started my business, a lot of businesses were saying, Shaun, we need sales coaching, but we got to fly people in from all over the country. The people that have come in the past, that our staff haven't retained the information. We haven't been given the tools to implement what they learn in the real world. And that's where I came up with the digital product. Because the customers are telling me, multiple businesses were telling me that. So I developed a digital product to help with the coaching. So when I coach people, yes, everyone learns at different rates. I'm a person that has to keep doing something repetitively to learn, right? That's how I learn. So what I do, if someone doesn't sink in, say it's objection handling or it's delivering value to customers, there's a whole module on it. And there's videos right through the module. So they can watch these videos over and over until it sinks in. They can read the material, they can do multiple choices, but the biggest thing that I give people is activity workbooks, right? How to manage your time, cheat sheets, objection handling scripts, right? And I say to people, take them with you in the car, download them to your device, print them off, and use them every day to change your habits that you currently have. And when you change the habit and they sink in, those activity workbooks will help you drive real results in the real world. So when you think about it, I have 20 years experience, as I said before, not just 20 years, but 20 years of consistent promotions, consistent coaching of sales teams, consistent amazing results with customers and big partnerships. But now I've also put my coaching into a digital product, and I give that to people when I coach them to help them succeed after the coaching.
See, you said something very, very important.
Yeah.
And I can't emphasize enough how I'm grateful you said this. You say this, that you need to repeat actions over and over again to learn, right? Yep. And in military, I learned after 14 years, repetition doesn't make you, what's it called? What's the word? No, sorry again.
Yeah.
Repetition doesn't make you perfect, makes you permanent. Yep. And I learned this hard lesson, because you're repeating, do the same weapon, assemble, putting this, do this over and over and over again. And you're still learning that eventually, take 15, 20 seconds for me in my time when I was in the military, MG 34, I could, in 20 seconds in pitch black, take a machine gun, up and down, inside, outside, I knew it, but the sound was what's missing in pitch black. And you said this exactly, because repetition, you need to repeat all the time, not just sit back and say, I learn now and that's it. Yep. It doesn't work that way. 100%. But that one I'm admiring, because repetition, that it makes you permanent, doesn't make you perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. And you just say this in your own words. For that, admiring you. You work with the NRL juniors.
Yep.
Now, what's the difference between the elite sports and elite sales? Is there any difference?
Oh, look, you know what? It's funny.
Would you like me to cut this question out?
No.
Okay.
I went to a seminar yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was an ex-professional athlete, NRL player there, who's now got his own business.
Yeah.
And okay, I look at sport, and what I've applied in sport to the real world works. So in sport, what do you have to do? Repetition. So say it's boxing.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw thousands upon thousands of left jabs
yes.
before you jump in the ring, for example. You're gonna spar hundreds of times before you jump in the ring. You're going to hit pads. You're going to hit the bag, right? You're going to fail. Some days you're going to feel like shit. You don't feel like you're going to have all that. You're going to lose fights. You're going to win fights. And it's the same in the sales world. It's the same. You've got to get up every day. You might fail, but you need to learn from it. You need to learn. You need to keep improving. You need to do the little things thousands of times. You know, look at my sales career. I've done thousands of sales calls, thousands, right? And that's why 20 years later, I'm so confident at what I do. I can still improve, me personally, right? But I've done 20 years of it. So when you talk about elite sports people, why do you find a lot of elite sports people, not all, but so many of them come out of their career, their sporting career, and excel in the business world? It's the same. They go in and they repeat, work hard, improve. They get beaten, right? Even professional sports people get beaten, and then they go, okay, how can I win the next one? Yes. It's the same with business.
I do have one question which it's related to the sales, but again to the times. You see, I'm 53, so like for me, I'm still analog guy. You know, digital, it's new for me, and I'm still using pen and paper. My son is laughing to me. He said, dude, I said, Matteo, I'm a visual guy. You know what I mean? I can't just type the message and watch the TV and, listen to the music same time. It doesn't work for me. It's new generations, right?
Yeah.
So digital world is becoming more prominent, and if it's not entirely digital. Mm-hmm. In today's DNA age, let's just say today, businesses are opening and closing because there is no revenue, right? People have good ideas. I'm going to start my business. I'm going to make money because Andrew Tate told me, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Andrew Tate.
Yeah, Andrew Tate, because, his biggest sales, to the people, it is buy on Amazon cheap and they sell the cheap, more expensive on Amazon. That's what he was doing, right?
Yeah.
I know many people pay him good money to learn the same thing, and so like, guys, doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So me being in business now for 15 years, sales are dominant force of every business. You can't just sit laid back and have one client. Yep. You constantly need to update, upgrade, and move yourself forward with the technology, with the new sales processes, whatever it is.
Yep.
What do you see as the biggest downfall to their businesses when it comes to the sales? Do they rely too much like, I'm going to put content there, everybody's going to come to me, everyone's going to jump on me. What would your advice would be to everybody who start business today?
Yep.
What the biggest obstacle they're going to face in sales?
So the biggest thing is you got to sell to the pain points of people.
Okay. Can you just expand on that one, please?
What I mean by that is, exactly in B2B sales, for example, I understand that the struggles of a business, what they're trying to achieve, how they're going to try and get there. And my product or service will hopefully, if it does, you only continue the conversation if it does, your product or service will help them with those strategies and overcome some of those challenges to help them get to where they need to go. Now, in sales, if you sell like that, that'll separate you from 90% of your competitors. Most people I've got in the car with to do coaching with and see how they do sales. G'day, how you going? I've got this water bottle. It's $10. Who cares? Everyone else sells water bottles, right? But you got to
true. That's a good one. Yeah. Yes.
But you got to get to the pain points. Now, with my online business, for example, when I do content and when I develop ads to go to market, I've done my research online, and people are saying I'm struggling with understanding what is the struggles of a customer. How do I ask them those questions? How do I ask this? How do I ask that? And I start to understand who are my dream buyers, right? Who are these people that I want to help coach? And I listen to the struggles that they've got, and I start giving them products and information to help them overcome those struggles. And that's what you need to do in sales. Like, you need to understand, like, this is what I say to people in sales. Don't call yourself a salesperson. Call yourself a leader and a problem solver. Okay, so what I mean by leader, lead people to a better outcome. Problem solver, help people overcome a problem or a challenge they have in their life or their business. So when I change my mindset from a salesperson to I'm going to go out there and help people and serve, that's when the sales went for the roof. Because people buy from people they trust. Doesn't matter how big the brand is you work for or the product that you're selling, they want to buy from people that they trust.
Do you think that some people actually are ashamed of what they're doing, but they still need to want to do it? Because as I say, I'll make it this very simple. When I started my business, I called my first business cheating partners.
Yeah.
I see, smile. And I say then my wife, I say like, I need to start advertising, and there's no budget, there's no money, right?
Yeah.
I printed the Sherlock Holmes hat,
Yeah.
and I tried to apply the common sense. It's like, where I gonna go to search for private detectives, right, or investigators?
Mm-hmm.
So I said to my son, let's go in a shopping center. So we were putting the A4 size on the toilets, you know what I mean? Like, it was just embarrassing, but people laughed at me. They make fun of me.
Yeah,
but
right.
yet the phone calls start coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know many people, even this area where we are,
Yeah.
even today they turn their back when they see me, you know what I mean? Because I was doing something for them, right?
Yeah.
Now, those times are behind me, but that's how I started, because I said, like, I need to be known that I'm private detective and doing the job and everything else. So try to socialize myself differently. You know, I mean, today you can put advertising online and do research, but what if people know that they don't have that tools? Can you develop those tools for them? How to do market research? How to ask questions? You said you have a program, right?
Yeah.
But when you consult people, can you tell them, you don't need to be embarrassed or nothing? We find a model how to sell your business or your services, your goods, your products. Is that what you do?
Yeah, so it's good that you brought that up, because we talk about evolution, right? We talk about growing and going to the next level. And every business starts somewhere.
Yes.
You can't just go, oh, I'm loaded and I'm just going to throw all this money.
But that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But many of them, when you hear them, or successes, you never hear how they started. Suddenly everybody's like so successful. I'm like, God, man, did you miss like every part of evolution? Like, so yeah, please.
Yeah. So I think you have to start somewhere. You know what I've done is I look at some of the biggest influencers online, for example, and I go through their YouTube and look at their very first YouTube video.
Okay.
Right? Because when I started doing YouTube videos, I'm like, oh, I'm not very good at this. I thought that, right?
You speak English, man. What's wrong?
But when I started looking at some of the biggest sales trainers in the world, and I looked at their very first YouTube video that they posted 8 years ago, and I go, that's crap.
Yeah, it is.
But guess what?
I know mine still.
But guess what? Look where they are today. Everyone will look at them today and go, oh, there's no way I could get to that person's level. They're so successful. How much money are they earning? They're so confident. But guess what? They've done the work from ground up. So that's why I like going into people's social medias and YouTubes and looking at the first video and going, look how far they've come. Good on them. And I have so much more respect, because every person has to start somewhere. And if you have a business and an idea without much cash flow, well, you need to put some practices into place to start getting an audience, start getting people within your niche to listen to you, and start building a brand. And we all start somewhere. So at the end of the day, there's a bit of advice I say. If an athlete sees someone in the gym having a go, they won't look down on them. If a millionaire looks at someone opening a business, they won't look down on them. But the everyday person that won't have a crack, that doesn't have the confidence to go and do that sort of stuff, will judge them, right? So I really do believe, get in and have a go, right? You'll fail, you'll learn, you'll just keep learning and evolve.
You now just touched something I want to ask you next question about judgment. But before that, I'm going to just say, your daughter, you call her your biggest why.
Yeah.
How that shape you as a single father, to become the coach, to be a better man and become what you become. How your daughter become your why made you today who you are. How that she influenced you? So let's just say your daughter's going to watch this in 10 years time. She's going to say like, Dad, I saw that video with that Mario. God, what did you say there?
Embarrassing.
So like, let's go say, not important name of daughter, but she's becoming your why.
It's funny. For me, it just changed me significantly. It made me softer. I wasn't the like for me, I'm the number one thing in my life. Yeah. Now I'm not. Now my daughter's my number one and my partner. You know, and when you love someone so much, like I love her more than I can explain in words, you know, and yeah, look, I'll be honest, she does drive me because I want her. She doesn't understand what I do, right? She has no idea. She turns on the YouTube, right, and goes, "Oh, Dad, there's you," right? But I hope that, you know, one thing I really want in life is for her to grow up and go, you know, my dad's the real deal. You know, my dad's having a crack. I'm proud of who my dad is, and I want to follow. I don't expect her to be coaching and this. Like, I want her to do what she wants to do with her life. But I want her to know that the fundamentals are there.
So how are you passing on her? So for every parent now listening, you know what I mean, this interview with you.
Yeah.
Because you come far, you know what I mean? That's what I'm admiring you for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we can have a education, we can have the life experiences, but not many people actually go in that direction as you did go. Many of them just come in direction where you didn't want to be. That is the first hour being toolmaker, though I had a job, right? But they stay for 5 years.
Yeah.
My father, like for example, I remember my dad wanted to be something, but he was all his life factory worker, and he always regretted not going to school and not doing better, this and that.
Yeah.
You know, he died. But you embrace your failures. You gathered the courage and you charged the life. You know what I mean? It was difficult.
Yeah.
We can't compress your entire life in 1 hour interview here.
Yeah.
But I can sense that there's a lot of, you know what I mean, obstacles and battlefields in your life, you know what I mean, you face it. But how do you pass in this now, Shaun, on your daughter? So every father, every mother who listen to this podcast right now can apply same. So how do you apply you, Shaun, on your daughter? So the parents who listen right now, they use this on their own kids.
So I think the biggest thing is...
Be careful, she's going to listen to this.
Every human being has a superpower.
Okay.
Or multiple superpowers.
Yes.
But you can't unlock that unless you believe. You know, and the older I've got in life, the more belief I have, the more experiences that are unfolding in my life. So with my daughter, you know, before she goes to bed, and this is when the subconscious part of the brain works its hardest, is when you're asleep, I say to her, okay, let's do some affirmations and things like that. I say to her, I love myself. And she repeats, I love myself. Yeah. She loves it. Yeah. You know, but when I put her to bed, if I don't say it, she goes, Dad, when are we going to say those things? And I go, all right, let's do it. I say, I'm great at sport. I have amazing friends. You know, I love my school. I'm healthy, and I'm so happy that I'm healthy. You know, I love my family. You know, I love the house I live in. I'm smart. You know, anything I want in life, I will get. She doesn't understand half this stuff, but I start to say it.
God bless her. Yes.
You know, and I think the biggest thing is, you know, try and give your kids the tools to succeed. And what I mean by that is, you don't need to drum into them to be the best in the class or the best on the sporting field, but to keep improving, keep having a go. Understand that losing is a part of life, and when you learn to lose, you can really develop a passion and the ability to win, right? And that is the key for kids. Like, you know, my daughter was playing rugby league under 8s this year, and I was a coach. And I could hear some of the parents, the way they talk to their kids. You missed that tackle. You didn't do this. You didn't do that, right? If anything, that missed tackle is a lesson, all right? And you even listen to NRL players when they talk. You know, they miss tackles, they lose the game, but they learn, and it makes them evolve for the next game. I think that's very important when you like. And I'm no expert at being a parent, right? I think
you are expert in being a parent. I think you are, Shaun. Don't you know? Nobody's born. You see, this is what I say. Like, everybody try to be more than they are. What I try to say with that, you are not born with a manual in your hand how to become a good father. And I said to this openly. I remember when my kid was born. And this is no secret now. I kept this for many years very under lead. I can't have kids natural way. So when I met Mateo's mom, I said, like, look, I can't, you know what I mean? I like to have, so IVF comes across. And when Mateo was born, like, you know, I didn't know nothing except to love this. You know what I mean? Even today, like, you know, he says to him, Dad, I'm 23 years old. Stop. I said, I can't stop. You know what I mean? I just want to kiss you now. You know what I mean? Like, and he's just like, oh God. And in gym is like, we see each other in gym. He's like, walks away.
Yep.
And I like this. So you has full credibility and authority to speak, being the good father, because your mom and dad, of course, they fought for you to become better, acceptable man in society, and you did it. Now you have a daughter. I feel sorry for any her future boyfriend.
Oh, man.
But that's like, so you have a full right. Now, what's the one lie people believe about success that you, Shaun, you won't destroy? What's the biggest lie people talk about success?
The biggest lie?
Yeah, about success. Huh?
Luck.
Okay, tell me.
Right? Some people are like, oh, you're lucky to have that, or you're lucky you bought that business when you did, or you're lucky you got that job when the timing was right. Nothing comes from luck. But sorry, let me rephrase that. Some people might go buy a $2 scratchy and win 100,000. Yeah, that's luck. But like my career, like
that is the luck. Yeah,
I have people say to me, oh, you work from home a few days a week and you got flexible working hours and you're lucky. And I go, well, no, I'm not. Because I look back 20 years ago when people were telling me to get effed. My boss is saying, mate, you're not hitting budget. You need to lift your game. I've had times where we're tendering for a $10 million customer to keep them. And my boss pulled me into office and says, if we don't win this tender, we're going to have to make 15 people redundant. And that's the pressure on me to keep this tender, keep the business at the company I work for. Otherwise, 15 people are going to lose their jobs, right? And that's pressure. And that's how the last 20 years I've lived under immense pressure. Anyone that works in sales, you've got to bring in the client. You've got to persuade your business to say, yeah, we're going to deal with them. And this is the pricing that we're going to offer them and the legal terms and all this stuff. They're pressure. So when people say you're lucky, no, I'm not lucky. I've made what I've got.
A lot of sacrifices, a lot of...
That's right.
Yeah. So what's the easiest for you, then or maybe now?
Yeah.
Fighting in the ring or self-doubt?
What's the easiest?
Yeah. What for you was easiest? To fight in the ring?
Probably fight in the ring.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, I think self-doubt is something
because there's going to be a lot of people now who listen about self-doubt.
Yeah.
They have a lot of doubt of themselves.
Yeah.
I want you to help them to understand what you went through. So you say it was easiest to fight in the ring.
Look, when you say easiest, fighting in the ring is
it's the hardest.
It's the hardest thing you ever do, or one of the hardest things. But self-doubt is something that compounds over years and things like that. Fighting in the ring, you can train really hard, do all the work, and you know what? You still can't have. You got to work on your self-doubt to jump in the ring too. You got to believe that you're going to win, and you got to believe that you can get the outcome that you require. But self-doubt. One thing that I had, because I had the issues early in life, and I carried this self-doubt throughout my whole entire life. And it wasn't until I was about 40 where I woke up and went, I'm 44 now. So I woke up and went, I've doubted myself my whole life, even though I've achieved so much. But I've still doubted myself. Like I'd get nervous going into meetings going, I hope I win this, I hope I get that. And probably it was a good thing for me because I used to how can I put it? I would prepare like nobody else, right? The self-doubt in me made me prepare so well. I'd say, what happens if they say that? What happens if they say that? What happens if they do that? And I'd have this all in my head ready to go. So self-doubt sort of served me, but self-doubt can be absolutely toxic to your life. As I said before, we all got a superpower within us, but if you want to unlock that, the self-doubt needs to reduce significantly.
What's the most common question people come to you as a life coach?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. I apologize. I'm going to rephrase this. Another question.
Yeah.
What's the most common problem when you do life coaching people come to you with? What's the most common?
Oh, just being happy and having purpose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're telling me people are coming to you because they're unhappy?
Yeah, unhappy, and I just don't see the value in life. I have no purpose. I just get up, I go to work, I look after kids, or I'm bored. I've got no purpose.
God.
right?
How this happen to people? Like, you know, I mean, what does this happen to the people in the first place?
Look, I think living in Sydney and, yeah, it's expensive to live here.
Oh, yeah, it is.
People are working. Some people, look, I'm very lucky that I took a career change at 23. I could afford it. But if I'd made a career change at 35 with a mortgage and kids, it's harder. So people get into these ruts where they've got massive mortgages or big rent, and they're stuck in these jobs that they hate and they're not chasing their dreams. And they find that they're not getting the purpose that they need.
Interesting, yeah.
And this is why, as a coach, try and unlock that with people. Like, you know, what do you want to do with your life? Like, some people go, I'm bored. Okay, is your parents still alive? Yeah, they are. Okay. Are you married? Yeah, me and my wife, we're together. Okay. Kids healthy? So people, we've got to start looking at the smaller things in life that are really, really important to us.
So can I ask you, sorry, I have now my curiosity.
Yeah.
Are we stop valuing things we have in life because we see on social media many other things we wanted to have?
Oh, 100%. Million percent. Social media, look, I'm on social media for my business. Yeah. But before my business, I would be...
Now you're going to have more friends because I'm going to put your socials on now.
Yeah. But look, I was very... When I went through hard times in my life and I look at social media and go, my mate's in Hawaii. Oh, I wish that was me. You know, so much stuff on social media is fake. I call Facebook fakebook.
Okay.
Right? It's so fake. There are people that are they've told me they're in a miserable relationship. Next day they post, it's our,
How do you feel about this? Because I have the same experience with the people around me. You know, they talk to me and I see it on social media. Yeah, but you just told me like you have no money for coffee, right? You know what I mean? But yet you're just here portraying yourself in the Darling Harbour on some big lunch, you know what I mean? While my ass been doing surveillance in my car on a 40 degrees plus, you know what I mean? Like, but it's okay. How do you feel about this when the people lying the public and reality they're living miserable lives?
It's sad. I feel for them. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, oh, idiots, blah, blah, blah. But I actually feel for them. You know, to me, I don't feel that I've got to go online and, say I've achieved this, I've done that, I'm great at this. I don't feel I have the desire to do that because when you... Like, I've come a long way in my own self-discovery. Like, I love myself. I love what I've achieved. I can improve, yes, but I'm happy the journey that I'm on. And every day I wake up, every day I give thanks for what I have. I give thanks for my health. I give thanks that the sun's up. I can go to the beach. I can go to work. I can generate my business, spend time with my daughter, my partner. I give thanks for everything. And, I think comparing your life to other people is the worst, absolute worst. For example, when I first got into sales, I would compare myself to someone that was in sales for 10 years. Oh, I'm just not as good as that person over there.
Yeah.
They're so good at what they do. But they've done 10 years of it. You've got to do the work. You have to do the... If you want to compare yourself to other people, the best thing you're better off doing is compare yourself to yourself yesterday and keep improving and keep working towards the life that you want.
You had more credibility and authority in you now, Shaun, than the Rock Dwayne Johnson, Leva King, just to name a few. I'm not sure they know this, you know what I mean? There's the Rock Johnson, he's lost because his heart is gone. Yeah. And he lost 60 kilos overnight because of the steroids. Yeah. So all his life, and I was trying to follow, let's say, for some of his diets. Yeah. 4 o'clock morning steak and all these things. Like, bro, that doesn't make a sense. He's lying, you know what I mean? Yep. Leva King, you know Leva King?
Yeah, I do.
He's been caught as well. So,
I watched 5 minutes of his thing on Netflix. I had to turn it off.
Yeah, but see, that's just like, just to name the few.
Yeah.
And people follow them. And I'm hoping, truly believing there's going to be a lot of dads there who will listen to this interview over and over again and reach you for the guidance. Because what you offering here, it's a real life example. Yeah. Supported by the, not science alone, but the supporting evidence that you helped so many. Yeah. You've been there, you've done that. And I'm truly believing that whoever listens right now is going to come and go on your website, b2bsalespro.com.au. I'm going to put in the description. Shaun, I just want to say thank you for being my guest today.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing your traumas with us. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing your hurdles and battlefields. And your daughter, I know she's going to be proud. Maybe today she's 80 years old.
Yeah.
She has a full credibility to make your life miserable.
Yeah. I look forward to it.
But in 10 years' time, I know something from my experience. My son is now 23 and I know he's proud of me. He says to him, Dad, I'm proud of you, my dad. So, Shaun, thank you for being my guest today. How the people can find you?
Yeah, so
and what are you offering as well?
Facebook, Instagram. So Instagram is B2B the B2B Sales Pro, and also got my personal one, which is Shaun Dover, and also the website. So www.breakthroughcoaching.com.au and then b2bsalespro.com.au as well. So the breakthrough coaching is more the life coaching and sales coaching, and then the B2B Sales Pro is a digital product that sells. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm always there to help people where I can. If someone's struggling and they want to reach out on Instagram and have a chat, more than happy to do that. And if someone's, obviously if there's businesses or individuals out there that want to get into sales or grow their sales, obviously there's that business as well.
Sales require confidence, so that's what you can give to people.
That's right.
Confidence.
And hope. Hope that, where you are, you can always improve and be better, and, you will get there, 100%.
Shaun, thank you very much for being my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, you watched today my interview with Shaun. However, that being said, I'm going to put in the description section all the socials of the Shaun. And one thing I can say about Shaun, I'm seeing Shaun almost on daily basis, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning in gym. He's pushing hard. He's doing this. And feel free to give him a call and talk to him. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I really appreciate being on here and the opportunity. And, I hope that we can help anyone that's listening to the podcast. And thank you so much. And thank you.
No, you're welcome, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaun, and stay tuned. We're coming more a little bit later. Thank you.